Hello, 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 hello. I tell you, I don't think this could be a better day for me. I have my BFF and I have my wonderful, wonderful mentor. Oh God, what do I say about you, Dr. Agrios? I don't know. He's Dr. Phil, you all. That's who he is, Dr. Phil. And can I tell you, Dr. Phil makes you feel good. He makes you feel real good. But listen, don't let that smile fool you because he can also help you to be better. And sometimes that becoming better can be stern. So Dr. Phil is I took Transcendence 101. I had the blessing of meeting Dr. Phil at one of the um oh goodness, one of the meetings.
Yeah,
I'm
Bill
trying to
Walsh is
Bill
open
Walsh.
the wealth camp.
I kept hearing Bill, but I couldn't get the Walsh part. Thank you. I was at that's
Sorry,
okay.
I had it on mute.
Okay. I
Wasn't
was
me.
It was me.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was the one in the middle. Okay. So Bill Walsh session, and he Bill Walsh is amazing, really. And I got the chance to see Dr. Agrios on the stage, and when I saw him, it was like, join him. I mean, it was like I heard the heavens open up. And when he was discussing what he does and talking about and helping us through, identifying different points, key points with us in the session. And he was also so personable. But I said I had to get in his session. So I ended up in Transcendence 101. And that's not the end, I know, Dr. Phil, because I got to come back for some more. But the things that I learned
And
in
that's not saying I know
Transcendence
because I have
101,
to go back for some more.
I don't know what's
But the
happening.
things that I learned, and
In
that's not saying I know
Transcendence
because I
101,
have to.
what is happening? I'm getting
Yeah, a
feedback.
little feedback. Yeah.
Okay. Somebody got on the line. Please turn your phone on mute. If you're on the conference line, turn your phone on mute, please.
But
So
see,
the thing
you just had to hear it again. That's why it reverted back.
is, I have to talk about how phenomenal you are, right? And let it revert back to you more than once and twice. Yes. So Dr. Phil, I mean, I sat under his leadership, under his training, under his instruction, under his teachings for 5 weeks. And it was absolutely amazing. Me and the group of people that were in there, Dr. Phil, I won't tell that part, but we were all the same. We had the same. What do we want to call it? What do I want to call it? Saboteur. That's it. We had the same.
A
Most of us
lot of
had
you.
the same
Yeah.
saboteur. It was an amazing group, but the ladies and gentlemen that started with us was fantastic, and I wouldn't trade that for the world. But Dr. Phil helped me to understand myself, and a lot of that came through even in the sessions we were doing, and he helped me to really do some good work with myself. And because of Dr. Phil, Dr. Marlene, remember we were talking about organizing and setting order in the house. Well,
Right.
Dr. Phil is the one that helped me to get there,
Okay.
really helped me to get in that space. And I learned that the thing that I hated to do, I thought I hated to do, which was folding clothes, actually becomes a joy for me. It became a joy for me. So Dr. Phil is magical. I'm telling you the truth. Once you really begin to identify different things and antidotes that you need to use in
Mhm.
order to help yourself to really be better,
Right.
um, it really does set your life on a different course. So I want to thank you, Dr. Phil, for all that you offer for us because you really do give us some life changing instructions, deep sea diving, because we dive deep when we're in Dr. Phil's session. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love
Oh,
it.
he's comical. He's comical.
I
And
love it.
so you all know BFF, Dr. Marlena. And Dr. Marlena, what did you say the study of the mind is, Marlena?
It's my jam. That's my jam. Yes, my jam. I'm so
So,
open to learning more, but it's just where I found myself, you know, trying to wrap my head, I should say, around why are we doing things this way? And we know that all the cliches, it's insanity to keep doing the same thing and expecting different results. But how do we change that, and from where do we change it? And then how the emotions tie into that, and then we try and back it up with logic. And so yeah, I'm just like, yes, yes, I want to hear more. And then after I took the little quiz, I was like, wait a minute, I know I've been moving away from that. How am I still there? So yeah, no, I'm excited.
Well, it's got to be
So
jam because jelly don't shake like that, right?
Oh, right. That's right. That's right.
So we're gonna get out the way, Dr. Phil, and we want to hear your jelly and jam and peanut butter jelly. Make a sandwich for us, Dr. Phil.
Uh,
So the ball is in your court. Come on and talk to us about what you do, who you are, how you got there.
Well, thank you, ladies. It's so nice to be here, and thank you for your wonderful introduction. That's very sweet of you. Welcome, everybody. Hi, my name is Dr. Phil Agrios. I'm a business breakthrough specialist, and basically, during 30 years of trying to figure out myself and my patients and my clients and everything else, I found myself on a journey to discover something that I felt that I wasn't being taught, because I kept finding myself in the same thing over and over again, no matter who I was being taught, what kind of cassette tape programs I bought. Remember that? Remember cassette tapes? That's how far back I'm going. And but I kept on finding myself in the same place. And I found myself on this journey, and I was able to discover a protective trait that we're born with, and I call it the inborn sabotaging trait. Not that it undermines us, but it protects us from the very success that we seek, because that success is subconsciously more painful than us changing our present day ineffective behavior. And when I first found this, I was like, this is way too simple. So I went out to try to disprove it. And over 30 years of thousands and thousands of people, I couldn't. And I was able to discover a way to switch it off instantly, and it worked 100% of the time. Now, I'm from Jersey, and if you tell me something works 100% of the time, I'm going to call you out and say BS. So I knew that. So I went out to try to disprove that. And even to this day, whether you're a CEO of a multi-billion-dollar company or a child, this works all the time. And Tori was able to find that for herself, and was able to discover that there are 3 inborn sabotaging traits. That's right. Out of 8 billion people, there are only 3. And I didn't believe it either. And so I had created this course called Transcendence 101, Sabotage to Success. It's a group course, which is live. You get training through video, and then I come on and we kind of dive deep into it. And Tori had a great time. Any questions, or am I continue talking, or what's going on, Tori? We talking back and forth? Are you there? Guess not. So I'm going to keep on taking it from here. So what happens is that once you understand your saboteur, and you can take a 9-question quiz like Tori had stated, and when under a minute, you can get your inborn sabotaging trait and antidote for free. And you'll find out that this trait has not only caused what's happening in your present day, but you'll find out why things happen throughout your entire life, even down to childhood. And then you can predict your future, that when you feel resistance or stress, it's that inborn sabotaging trait trying to protect you. See, there's nothing wrong with you. You're not an idiot and all the other thousands of negative words you talk about to yourself. You're just protecting yourself. See, there's only 2 things we do. We protect and we grow. We contract, we expand. We take and we give. We're vibrational beings. So when you start to release your personal and professional power, and you start feeling uncomfortable, that inborn sabotaging trait kicks in to protect you. So imagine knowing when you're at that moment, when you're at that pinnacle, whether it's your personal life, your career, your business, when you're ready to go south. Do you want something that might work, or do you want the antidote? Of course you want the antidote, and that's what we give you. And then deeper dive is that there are actually 2 other traits. And these 2 traits create what I call the personality stress sequence. Once I know that about you, I can tell you everything about you. I can tell you why you failed, why you succeeded in the past, why you had the relationship you did, why they worked, why they didn't work. And I don't even have to meet you. We had recently a person in the course she not only was able to understand her, she was able to understand her husband. And once she started to work and we were guiding her how to deal with her, their relationship really skyrocketed, and he never knew she was taking the course. And during that process, out of that one sequence, you discover one particular one subconscious word that you use that stops all your goals. It stops it in the past, it's stopping it now, and it's stopping it for the rest of your life. So it might be a good word for you to know. Once you understand that one word, we help you give you five techniques to offset that one subconscious word. So when you try to use your subconscious word by using those five, you now are able to achieve your goals. Tori, are you still there, or am I keep on going? Hello? I guess I'm still going. There you are. Am I continuing? You were talking. What we're doing? I can't hear you. You're on mute.
You know, that was a problem in the class too. Always on mute.
The subconscious thing, but you're doing much better. It was only a few seconds.
It seemed to be lagging too, so everything's happening right here. But go ahead.
I don't know if you had questions. You said you wanted to ask questions. If not, I can just keep on going. I can keep on talking all night.
And you do a good job of it too. I said I'm lagging, so Dr. Marlena, go ahead. We had Dr. Marlena to take the quiz,
right.
Dr. Phil. So maybe talk to her for a few minutes.
And so taking the quiz and then getting the results and reading through the brief overview that you get back, I was still kind of surprised because I thought I had moved away from being a director saboteur.
Well, see, that's the thing. You will never, ever, ever conquer it, because the reason is the saboteur is there to evolve us.
Okay.
See, when you start to feel that, you can be doing whatever you want to do. If we didn't have the saboteur, we would be having a conversation tonight how bored you are because everything came so easily to you.
Okay.
So the saboteur brings your adversities and things in your life. So for the rest of your life, you will always have your challenge. That's the challenge for the rest of your life, to evolve you. And I tell people, when you feel uncomfortable or negative or whatever, get excited because you're ready to evolve. But why we get depressed? Because we don't know how to move through that. Once you know the saboteur, like yourself, you call the director saboteur. Once you understand that moment you're scattered, you're all over the place, or you can get so hyper focused, you have a distortion of time, right? What takes you 3 minutes, you may think they take you 3 hours, and vice versa. And then when you're at that moment, you go, oh, okay. The reason why is I'm protecting myself right there because I feel where I'm going is more painful. So I'm going to pull back.
Mm-hmm. True.
Right. Yeah. So again, there's nothing wrong. It's always there. And that's one of the simple things I realized, like, this can't be this simple.
Okay.
We're
in that world. We want to make everything complex, right? Instead of it being simple.
Right. And it's just moving forward and step by step, but knowing each one, because life is this. The question, are you doing this or are you doing this? And that's where, if you deal with your lower part of that curve, the high ones will take care of themselves.
Got it. Love that. Okay.
So there are two other traits called the supplier saboteur and the communicator saboteur. So once they take the quiz, they'll get an understanding of who they are and how to shift that immediately. And of course, it's just the tip of the iceberg. And when you take the quiz, make sure you're taking it as if you are going back to old patterns, not if you went through therapy and you're being a coach. But we're not talking about that 85% of your life that's going great. We're talking about that 5 to 15, 20% that you have some difficulties with that blocks you. And that's what I discovered, is that trait is the reason for our blocks. And it's just protecting you.
Okay. Wow. All right.
So we don't have to be upset or angry about our that saboteur showing up, because it is a protection mode. That's what you're saying. It puts us in protection mode.
Yeah, exactly. Same thing as your thyroid, right? So what happens in the thyroid, you have 3 steps, right? You have the brain telling the pituitary gland to tell the thyroid to start kicking out thyroid hormones. But as soon as the thyroid hormones get to a point, then there's a feedback, a loop telling the brain to tell the pituitary to tell the thyroid, shut down. So we're never at a straight level. We're always in that fluctuation. And that's what life is about. And that's what makes life so great, is so that, because, you don't know what's going to happen. That's what the exciting part, right? Would you watch a movie with no villain? Would you be at a football game with just the offense on the field? No, you're looking for the back and forth and the triumphs through the adversities that the game and the movie's trying to show you, so that you can feel that. And that's just your life.
So we're talking like the yin and the yang then, because we're talking about not just balance, but harmony in life.
It's finding the harmonious part within yourself to the other. And you got to realize the outside world is really you. Right? The person you can't stand is a part of you can't stand. That person's just showing up to show you why you don't want to focus on you, right? So by getting excited, by looking outside, if you don't like it, it's everything in you. There is no lack. Everything is in you. So when you have lack of money, it's just showing you to reinforce what you're vibrating.
Wow.
So money will never come in if you're constantly feeling of lack, but everything is within you. Wow. So once you know that everything is within you, you're the beautiful woman, you're the ugly woman, you're the mass murderer, you're Mother Teresa, you're the loving woman, you're the hateful woman. Everything's in you. It's up to you what you want to tap in to show yourself in the world.
Wow. Okay. What you think about that, Dr. Marlena? Everything's in you.
Everything's in you. Yeah. Isn't that something we talk about all the time? Yeah. A little book I wrote about it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I don't look at that there. Heck, I'm just going to keep on looking outside and blaming everything and everybody else instead of taking responsibility. Absolutely. You got to take 100% responsibility as a co-creation between you and the universe, or God, or whatever your higher power, or whatever you feel that higher consciousness is.
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah. So when I'm angry or upset at something that somebody else is doing, it's really not about them. It's about me.
You're upset with you. You're upset with yourself that you have allowed that person maybe to take advantage of you, to say things to you because you didn't express yourself, or they're all over the place. You're late, or you're ignoring people. You can't get to things because you just are scattered and all over the place. You're upset with you because you did not set the precedence for your own life.
Yes. But Dr. Agrios, I can't do that because I'm so used to operating in a position where I don't have a voice. So, I mean, I don't understand how to come out of that.
So here's the thing. You said I can't do what?
I can't stand up for myself and express myself.
Now, I want you to take the word can't and replace it with won't, and say that sentence again.
I won't express myself or stand up for myself. Big difference.
Because it's painful for you to stand up. See, when that person comes for you to stand up and you don't, that person not only represents that person, it represents thousands of other people, things, and events that it represents. And it represents you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
You have control only one thing, you. And when you control you, 2 things happen. Those people leave or they change because they still want to be in your world.
So somebody asked a question. So who do we change or improve, ourselves?
Yeah, well, you understanding your antidote, right, with yourself, right? Being the director saboteur, you know that you need to become aware and follow through. So when you, quote, don't stand up for yourself, you use that other trait, but now you have to realize that, hey, why am I not standing up for myself? And you know it starts with a K. You don't have enough knowledge. When you don't have enough knowledge, you freeze.
Yeah.
Right?
Mhm.
Hmm.
So you think you don't have the confidence or the thing to do. You don't lose confidence. You don't misplace confidence. You just don't use the other side. I would people would come to me, when I was when I was a doc, and I used to be a chiropractor and a functional medicine practitioner. I used to treat thyroid and autoimmune disease. And people come to me and go, "Oh, I'm a failure. I can't lose weight. I'm a diabetic. I'm really unhealthy." And I go, "You're very successful. You're not a failure. You're very successful at how to gain weight. You're very successful at becoming a diabetic. You're very good at becoming tired every day of your life. You're a success. Can you see how you shift it? So let's just go to the other way, do the exact opposite to what you've been doing, and let's become successful in health."
Wow. So, Dr. Agrios, I heard you say, people say, I can't lose weight. And you're telling me that if I am having struggles with losing weight, the answer is not outside of me, it's in me?
Exactly. Because a lot of times it could be that, dealing with people that have been molested or raped, whatever, if it's more painful for them to lose weight and become attractive again and the possibility of getting raped again than
Mhm.
staying in a fortress so that people are not focusing on them, right? That's one
Mhm.
possibility. The other possibility is that when they get to a point in their life and they're stressed, they go for what? Food. It's their heroin, right? So they'd rather eat the food, stay overweight, and feel the pain because that pain they know. But for them to deal with, they deal at that moment in time, it's more painful. That's why the person cuts themselves, um, because it's less painful than them dealing with that moment that they have to deal with. So it's your heroin. What is your heroin? What are you focusing on so you can numb yourself? It's just numbing yourself. And that's, as a director saboteur, is you're not becoming aware and follow through. A supplier is because they're used to the abuse. The communicator saboteur is the one that clams up, that goes inside. So therefore, they have to feed themselves because they're not connecting to the outside world.
One of the other team members, she said she took the quiz and her bottom line was, I undervalue myself.
Yes, that's the supplier saboteur. So a supplier saboteur is a person who overly gives, they overly share because they feel they have to. They rather focus on everybody else's feelings than their own. That's their heroin, focusing on other people instead of the old pain within themselves. So that's where they need to start to understand how that they are value as well. And through the course, I mean, you saw people in the course who were supplier saboteurs are now saying no to people. They're saying not now. They're really valuing their time and whatever. And seeing people tremendously shift within 5 weeks or less. So that person, by valuing her, or him, which is really uncomfortable, but by slowly doing it 5-10% every day, you start to that your brain starts to get a little more accustomed to it, and it's not as bad.
So you talked about the director saboteur, which Dr. Marlena is as well as I am, and we're people that feel we have to have all the pieces together. We can't do something. We'd rather not do it or wait till the last minute because we feel that we not maybe as good or as effective as we could be. And so we just put it off and put it off and finally move towards it towards the end. You talked about the supplier saboteur, the one who is really allowing themselves to be stepped on, if I could say it that way, because
Yeah.
they won't really speak up for themselves. They're so used to just giving and giving and giving. Now the other saboteur is a communicator. So now what is the communicator saboteur exhibit?
That yeah, that one, the communicator yeah, the communicator saboteur. I'm guessing I'm having communication problems too by not speaking, having a hard time expressing themselves. They don't confront. They overly uh, analyze. They over process things because they don't want to be feel stupid or embarrassed before they verbalize. They'll text and they will email more than they will actually verbalize. So people have no idea what they're thinking. So people have to guess, and then people guess wrong, and then they get upset with them. So those are the people that clam up, that disconnect when things don't go well for themselves.
Now, see, I would have thought prior to taking the quiz that I would have been a communicator saboteur. Um,
So here's the thing. All three, director, supplier, and communicator, are within us.
okay.
That's where the sequence come in. We have a dominant trait, a mediator trait, and the saboteur. So a lot of times people's mediator, right, you're thinking communicator, is at that moment in time, you're seeing that you're shutting down. The reason why you're shutting down because you're scattered and then you shut down, compared to somebody who shuts down first and then becomes scattered because they're not focusing. Does that make sense? It all depends on which side that is. And once you know that sequence about yourself, game over. You'll know exactly why everything has ever happened to you, why it's happening now, and for the rest of your life. Right, Tori? You know, you
That's
get that
correct.
really understanding. And then once you understand your superpower kicks in because your saboteur is not doing its job. So you're off center. But as soon as you use the antidote, they both balance out instantaneously.
So what do you say to the person who says that I'm an introvert? I'm comfortable being not really expressing myself, not really um, coming to the forefront. I just want to be in the background and just I'm an introvert. I
I
don't
just
like
like that supporting role. I don't need to be out front.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. The question is, are they harmonious in the back, and are they happy? And they still have to express the people in the back in order for the back end to work, right? So again, we're not talking about when things are going well. We're talking about when you get stuck and blocked. So again, that communicative saboteur doesn't have to go to the other extreme, become a Gabby. You know, we're not talking about that. We're talking about just keep on going until you're in the middle, so that you can express more effectively, so they can express their brilliance, and
I
they don't
have
express their brilliance. I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead, doctor. Go ahead.
No, they don't express their brilliance because they don't respect themselves. I had a client who was the business owner, and in his own staff meetings, he wouldn't express himself because he didn't want to feel stupid. So I finally got him to a point of expressing, and the feedback from his staff was, "Wow, this is great stuff. That's brilliant." He was shocked. So now he was getting more and more feeling that he did have the brilliance within him. And as he started doing it more often, the business started to increase, as well as his relationship with his wife.
So
Because you got
Dr.
to
Phil,
remember, your business and your personal life are one.
I was
They're not separate. And when you use your inborn sabotage trait, they affect both. When you use your antidote, both are affected. Sorry, go ahead.
So I have on my phone, we talked about this in class, and I don't know if you could see that, but it says become
Yep.
aware and follow through. That is my antidote. As I'm sorry, I went into fade mode, but okay, I feel faded right now. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
You're a little scattered right now, but that's okay.
yeah, I'm scattered. So become aware and follow through. So part of that's my antidote for my saboteur, the
Hmm.
director. I've
Right.
got to start paying attention to what's happening and then put myself in a position to follow through instead of throwing, moving it away from me because it's just too overwhelming because I can't find my way through it.
Right.
And
And you're
so,
overwhelmed because your dominant trait is offsetting that. So it's just not about just knowing the one antidote. It's also understanding how it all dives deeper into the whole thing, which you really start to see. And it's just reminding you of you're going back to old patterns, and that's okay. See, I don't care if you go in the corner with a pillow, sucking your thumb in a fetal position on the floor. I'm good with that. That's just protection. The question is, how long? How
mm,
long are you use your inborn sabotaging trait? That's the question, right? Your heart expands and contracts, right? If your heart contracts too long, you have a problem. If it expands too long, you have a problem. It's finding the harmonious between the inborn sabotage trait and the antidote.
mhm.
I love this. Yes.
So,
Okay.
Marlene, is this your jam?
It's my jam. Yeah. Yes. I love
All
this.
right.
Yes. 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 I'm like, I need more. I want to hear more. I think I already ordered the book, so I think I had already ordered the
Oh,
book.
thank you.
So your book
Now,
is
in the book is my blueprint. Is a 6-step blueprint that
okay.
goes much deeper into some things.
Yes. And you also have classes. Tell us about some of the classes that you offer, Doctor. And
Um,
before you do that though, you mentioned something I think that was very important. You said that the personality or the personal saboteur, and there is a business saboteur. So, the personality, meaning my personal space, the way I operate, do I also carry that same saboteur over into my business so that it operates pretty much the same way that I do personally, handle stress personally?
So one thing that I discovered was that each business has its own inborn sabotage and trade antidote. So I do a workshop, and we actually, after Transcendence 101, there's a Transcendence 201. We talk all about the business, because you got to first focus on you, then you focus on the outside world. So your business has its own saboteur. So what I teach is showing out you and how your staff subconsciously sabotage the business through your own saboteur. So your saboteur enhances the business's saboteur. And once you use your antidote to the business's antidote, it's like a valve of success that kicks in. So it all depends on how that is in relationship to what you're doing.
Okay. All right.
And it's
So,
also, and also, we talk about how to close better. I mean, if you're a business person, or you need to close, or have a salesperson that knows how to close. When you don't close, it's your inborn sabotage and trait stopping you, because it's uncomfortable to actually close that person. So we actually have a 6-step blueprint to show how to increase your closing rates by 86.2%.
and it actually has worked.
Oh yeah. Oh, I had a doc had less than 30% of his closing rates, and within 1 or 2 weeks, he went up to about 100% and fluctuated at that higher level and increased his practice by 64.2%. And I just had a woman who was a supplier saboteur. Within 2 weeks, she had $84,000 in sales for that 1 month, because she was overly talking and she was pushing away. She was overwhelming the person because she was talking herself out of the sale, because she felt insecure due to her supplier saboteur. And once she started utilizing the antidote and understood it, her communication became much more effective. And then people understood what she was selling, and then they started to buy.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
And I can
Wow.
keep on telling you stories, but
Yeah.
those are two of the success stories.
Okay. I can't seem to refocus my camera. I'm sorry. I keep trying. It's not working. I figure sooner or
Okay,
later it will.
you're just in an abstract form right now, and we're just going to have to just visualize that and go from there.
I love Dr. Phil. Somebody asked, I took the test. Deborah said, where can I get a copy of my results?
It came as soon as it's
Yeah.
in your email. Your email, you should have gotten an email. Check your spam or your junk or your promotional or social folders and all the other places that Google or whatever puts it in, except in your inbox. And it'll be there showing you the results of that. And it should have showed you as soon as you put your email address in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yours did, Dr. Marlena?
It did. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, mine too. Somebody else asked, okay, Deborah asked again. So who do we change or improve ourselves?
Always.
Yeah.
Always me.
When you change you, the vibration of you changes. So then, and you stay consistent with that vibration, then people, things, and events will need to come in to reinforce your new vibration. It's law.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. And let me see any other question. Somebody else said everything is in you. They're enjoying this. Dr. Agrios, they're
Yep.
enjoying this.
Good.
And okay, those are all the questions.
Yeah, if
Well,
they're interested, I mean,
Yeah.
we have one more course, but in January the Transcendence is starting. but they could go since it's Saturday, they could go on and apply for the Wednesday's course. But let me see, Wednesday was just started. Yeah, now it's too late. But in January. But if they send me when they get that email from the quiz, they can email me saying that they are interested in the Transcendence course, and I'll be happy to put them on the waiting list to tell them when January starts. And then I also have an online course called Rise Above Adversity. And what that is that we dive, one section dives into the inborn sabotage trait of the antidote, but we don't do the other 2 traits. But then we give them 5 stress techniques that neutralize stress immediately. And especially during this interesting times for the last year and a half, I call it, they can start realizing how to deal with any type of adversity, from small to horrific events.
Okay. So small and horrific events. I'm glad you mentioned that. So you're telling me that my saboteur can help me to successfully navigate, or my antidote can help me to successfully navigate
Yeah,
those
because your
horrific.
saboteur is the one that got you in that mess in the first place.
Mm, wow. 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 And everybody, you said everybody has one of these 3 saboteurs.
Correct. No, we all have right. We all have the 3 traits within us. We just use one as a saboteur and one as a superpower, and the other one is the bridge between the 2.
Mm, wow. 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 Okay.
Okay, so that's why. Okay, so looking at my results, that's why it's showing saboteur, mediator, and then dominant.
Right. If you look at the results, how it comes back this way, right.
Mm-hmm.
So if people are interested in what the other 2 traits are, that's where we dive into the other courses to really dive into this. See, the other thing that what we do is that, you know how the guys set up the big elaborate domino setups, right? And they push this one domino and it goes, right? And the last one hits. And let's say balloons are released, right? What's the last thing you see? The balloons, right? That's your fear, your stress. That's the last thing that you see when you get upset. So what we do is we take our coping methods and put it on the balloons, not the one domino. So it's more effective. Holding down all the balloons is not pushing the one damn domino. So when you push your domino, which is the inborn sabotage trait, you go down the road of frustration and desperation. And when you push the antidote, you go down the road of inspiration, not motivation. This is not a rah-rah. This is down to the core of who you are. And that's where you then can extrapolate that one subconscious word that stops all your goals.
Okay. Okay. And so now in the course that you said is going to I guess start back up in January.
Yes.
You had mentioned that, you know, like my spouse and I, we get along in a lot of things, but business wise, what I'm doing in my business and what he's doing in our other businesses, we don't see eye to eye. He just does not get it. I'm not forcing him to. I'm okay with that, but it would create more harmony, you know, in our relationship.
Well, you're really not okay with that, because if you were, you would be.
I guess I wouldn't bring it up if I wasn't. Yeah, I would like to see it be.
It was there. I had to take it. So what happens, what's really great about husbands and wives, I worked with a lot of husbands and wives one-on-one. Like I said, I have a one-on-one one as well. And what happens is I'll give you a key. I'll give you one little key, one little pearl. Ready? When you're home, I'm assuming you're home. You guys don't do this in a building, right? You're doing it at home. Find one room that's the only room you discuss business in. You don't discuss it in a bedroom. You don't discuss it while watching TV or in the kitchen. Only that one room. And as soon as you step in that room, you are no longer husband and wife. You are CEO and COO. You are president and CMO, or you're the technician. And so who is in charge of that topic? And then when the next topic is, it could be that you're now in charge and he has to listen to you.
Got it.
Key, isn't it?
Yeah, like that.
But what happens is both your businesses most likely might have different sequences. And now you don't even know his. See, if we had time, I would ask you a few questions. I would then ascertain who he was, and I'll tell you exactly why you guys have a conflict and
Okay.
never meet him.
Okay. Okay. And I do
And
know this though, because I listen. I do know his business sequence because I like, again, I'm sure that's back to that director part. I like being in charge of knowing all the information. I don't necessarily always like, you know, giving, following the sequence or
and
whatever.
hearing it too. Sometimes you
Mhm.
don't want to take the
Yeah,
responsibility or
exactly.
take the
That's
accountability,
true. Yeah, that's very
right?
true. Yeah.
And then the question is where does he fit in and how that is?
Mhm.
Once you guys understand, now you know exactly why he does what he does. And he will now know why you do what you do.
Okay.
And then now you guys can come together at that moment when there's a conflict and understand each other and come in neutrally, compare and depersonalize this instead of it being an emotionally charged situation as husband and wife.
Yeah, I like that.
Does that resonate?
Yes, it does. Thank
So a
you.
lot of times I have husbands take one course on one day,
Mhm.
and the wife will take one on the other day, and then so they don't have to be in the same room talking about that. And then they afterwards they come out together and then share each other's results.
Yes. Okay. I like that. Thank you.
Sure.
So Deborah said, I took your quiz but did not finish reading my results. So I don't know my antidote. Where can I see and read
Keep
the
it going
result?
down. Just keep on going down in
Um,
the black section of it.
So, Dr. Phil, you're then, look, Dr. Phil, I feel like I'm on the table now. Dr. Phil, so, so you're telling me then, not just in husband and wife relationships, but in regular relationships, you can actually improve your connections or the way you operate with each other by understanding each other's saboteur and
Uh,
your own.
Yeah, parent child. I remember
Mm,
I had a gentleman who took one of my courses, my workshops, came up to me and says, "My son's always upstairs watching video games. I can't get him downstairs to interact with the family." So I asked him a couple of questions, ascertained his son's inborn sabotage trait antidote, gave him a much deeper antidote than the one that's on the quiz.
mhm.
Within less than a week, his son was downstairs interacting with the family. Within 2 months, their relationship skyrocketed because he realized he was the one that was pushing his son back in the room.
Mm.
And when he realized that, he started to change that. And then he started to accept his son of who he was. And then he started utilizing in the business, and he was doing the same thing with his employees. And
Mhm.
then that started really, and the business started to skyrocket.
wow.
Wow.
So,
I can
so,
talk
so
about, mother,
yes,
child, and if you got three different children, each one, depending on the saboteur, you will then treat each one differently.
Mhm.
wow.
Okay.
So we need to find out more about how we get into your sessions so that we can learn how to navigate and orchestrate our lives better. So for the listening audience, how do they get in one of your sessions? You
So
just told
when they
Dr.
take the quiz,
Mhm.
when they get the email, they can actually there's a 15-minute free consult at the end of the results for me to sit with them and to go deeper into that and to determine if they're a candidate for the Transcendence 101. Or if they can't do that, then when they get the email me back and let them know that they want to be on the waiting list, and then I'll send them the link to sign up for the Transcendence 101. And it's also, as you know, within 2 weeks, if you feel it's not right for you, you get 100% of your money back.
Right. And so you telling me I could get 15 minutes with you?
Yes.
That's some awesome. That's worth its weight in gold. You all hear him. He's masterful. He's very knowledgeable. He loves what he does, and it comes through. Literally, I watched Dr. Phil in our sessions, and he would touch all of our hearts. I mean, he touched every single one of us in that class, our hearts, and got into the our heartbeat. I'll say it that way. The heartbeat of who we were, and he does it so gingerly. I mean, he doesn't bulldoze, but he does it such in a ginger way that it doesn't feel like you've been mistreated or mishandled.
Well,
He's
thank you very much.
very loving in his touch, but he's also very direct, and will make sure that you understand. You know, and I was like, I mean, we were all in the class like, wow, really?
And there were five pastors compared to the other ones too, but we had five pastors in one place. That was cool. I never had that one before. And the other people there were like, "Wow, this is really interesting." So yeah, that was
Yeah,
cool.
Dr.
I
Phil is
also
amazing.
said, even if you're working in, studies of, like I do, working with timeline therapy and hypnosis and things, this is great information. I mean, I can't wait to. I'm a bookie. I like the book, so I want to go through the book. I'm definitely going to book my 15 minutes. I
Cool.
definitely would like to hear more and know more. I'm interested in the class for January.
Thank you. I would love to have that conversation with you,
Yeah,
and
you
then
know,
bring one problem that you're having,
yeah.
and then I'll be able to at least give you something
Okay.
to help start that road to figuring that out. And I
Yeah,
think just by giving you what I told you about with your husband,
Yeah.
do that, and I promise you, you'll start seeing a shift right then and there.
Yes.
And have him take the quiz,
I am. I already have it written down here for him to do.
but don't tell him.
I know.
Ask him.
Yes.
Or
mm,
better yet, you go, hey, you know what? You want to know a little bit more about me? Can I show you my results? I took this quiz. And he may go, yeah. And he reads it and go, "Hey, I could have told you that. And then you just be quiet. And
Yeah.
then he may go, well, how about me? Then you give him the quiz. Do not give it to him unless he asks you.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Much more powerful that way.
look
Got
at that.
got
And you
it.
take the quiz by going to short for sabotage, sabquiz.com.
Yes.
Sabquiz.com. Deborah says she needs her 15 minutes like now.
Well, it's Saturday. It ain't going to happen, Deborah. or
Listen,
my
I'm
wife,
just
or I'm going to have a wife problem. So, yeah.
not worth that. I'm just so thankful, Dr. Phil, that you came on with us.
Oh,
And
I'm
we're going to
blessed.
have to
Thank
get
you.
you back to do some more
Yeah.
stuff with us because
Be
you
happy
are
to.
definitely just amazing in the
Oh,
way you help us to understand how we can operate and be better at our best, become our best self,
Yes.
and deal with some of these issues that have been keeping us in a place of non-success. That's the word I'm going to use because we all want results. We want them as quick as we can get them, but we generally look outside and say somebody else's fault.
Somebody else is real.
Hmm. But we
yeah.
need to start recognizing it's me.
Yeah, don't use these eyes. Use the eyes within.
Mm.
Mm, wow. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Agrios.
you so
You
much.
know I
It's so
love
nice to meet you,
No,
Doc. It was so nice to meet you as well. And I look
you too.
forward to our conversation soon. And thank you,
Oh,
everybody, for showing up. I hope this was helpful for you. It was
very
value
much
for
so.
you. And I look forward to talking to each and every one of you.
Yeah,
Thank
we're
you.
Thank
going out
you.
2021 with a bang. Yes.
Going
Let's
out
do
with a
it.
bang. We're
Yeah.
coming back tomorrow out with a bang at 11 a.m. Pastor Alice O'Neill will be coming at 11 a.m. to talk about your spiritual overview, how to set yourself up to move better in a spiritual way. So thank you all so much for those that have
11
followed.
a.m. 11 a.m. Central Time.
Thank you
9
so much
a.m.
to
Pacific.
say that. Yeah. So thank you all so
Thank
much,
you
and
again, Doctor.
get in touch with Dr. Agrios because he's
Yeah.
somebody to know. Really, I love Dr. Agrios.
Yeah.
I love you
Really,
too. I
I
appreciate you.
really do. I really, really do. So thank you again, Dr. Agrios, and God
Thank
bless
you.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Have a
God
Bless
bless
you.
you.
wonderful
Have an
day.
amazing evening. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Any
Bye bye.
last words? That's a good point. Any last words or something to help us make it through Thanksgiving, Dr. Agrios?
Create a gratitude list. Focus on how grateful you are. Focus on how well things are going, not how bad things are going, how good things are going for you. Focus on that. changing your vibration, and then you'll be having the strength to deal what you don't want to deal with.
Okay. You
Awesome.
heard it from the man himself. All right. God bless everybody. Till
Thank
next
you.
time.
Bye
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 bye.
Bye-bye.
now.